Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode, and today we are going to talk about what is happening with the national news and why you as a buyer or seller in Cherokee County need to, yes, listen to that, but don't freak out. And here's why. When it comes to real estate is definitely microcentric, and what I mean by that is what's happening in Cherokee County is not the same thing that's happening in California or New York. And even in Texas, it's going to be completely different. So when you're listening to the national news and they're telling you that housing prices have dropped, that's just simply not completely accurate based upon what's happening in Tahlequah. For example, there's been a lot of information about housing prices dropping nationwide, and we know that there are states that the prices have actually gone up substantially. So being aware that real estate is very micro as opposed to macro, and working with a realtor in your market to find out what is true and what is happening. The same thing goes for the counties around us. So we work in Cherokee County, we work in parts of Delaware County, we work in Adair County, we work in Sequoyah County, we work in parts of Muskogee County and parts of Wagner County. All of those areas are completely different based upon the industries that they have. So it's very, very important to work with someone who's a specialist in your area. Now, the reason I say that we work in parts of those counties, again, we want to be the specialist. Can I legally sell you a home in Tulsa? Absolutely. Would I? Absolutely not. The reason is it goes back to knowing the market and me being able to tell you if you are overpricing your home or if you're a buyer, if you're potentially overpaying for a home. I just had a situation where a client contacted me. In 2022, I had a home for sale. The seller had a very specific number that they needed to reach or it was not worth it to them to sell. And based upon what was we did overprice it by about 5%. And guess what? A buyer came in who was paying cash and was willing, ready, and able to pay that. Now, fast forward to today, 2024, November, that homeowner who did not work with me to buy the home has contacted me about possibly selling their home. And guess what? They're a little bit upside down when it comes to adding their fees on top. So it's really important that what happened in that situation is they used a realtor that drove in from 2.5 hours away and essentially let them overpay. Again, I was working for the seller, so my fiduciary duty was to the seller. We had it priced. They chose not to do an appraisal and to give us list price. So if that realtor would have been local, I do believe that they would have known that potentially their buyer was overpaying. Now, obviously, if it's your dream home and it's the right location and the timing is right, go for it, absolutely. But don't overpay simply because you did not get a realtor who understood what was going on in the market. And what's really neat about Cherokee County and Tahlequah specifically is we do have a lot of new industry and things that are coming in that are going to continue to affect the pricing in a good way. Do I think that where prices are going to shoot up? No, I don't. I think the only way that would happen is if the interest rates drop. Do I think that that's going to happen? No, I don't. I think that there will continue to be small dips, but again, I would love to be wrong in that area. So the other thing I think that it's important to know about when you're talking about a micro market and having a specialist in that area is to be cautious on someone giving you a guarantee. In real estate, there are no guarantees. No one has a crystal ball that actually works properly. And anyone who is guaranteeing you, I would be a little bit cautious about that. We can obviously say based upon the industry or maybe a new business that's coming in the market that we do believe that that's going to be positive and affect. But if someone's guaranteeing you a return, that's a little bit of a concern, something to be aware of. So the main thing is to get your information from your local expert rather than listening to the national news, because that can have you all over the place, and making sure that the local expert is full-time and knows what they're talking about, and that can definitely save you tons of money. And then the last thing I will say about listening to the national news, I do think that it is important to be aware that if you are in a higher priced home, typically $350,000 or more, then yes, the national news can more adversely affect you. And the reason is that for the most part, the higher end homes are sold to people moving in from out of area. So if someone in California, their market is kind of tough right now, if they need to sell before they can buy, then in that situation, the national news is important to know. But again, your local expert can walk you through all of that. Hope you found this to be helpful. Please like, follow, and share. And if there's a topic you would like for us to discuss, or you simply have a real estate question, please feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to help. Thanks, everyone.